We want to just talk about why we joined the ISSC. So the reason why I joined NCDA's ISSC was I attended the NCDA conference and I found that there was a community and a committee of other professionals working with international students. And I wanted to get involved with other people who are doing the same work that I'm doing across the nation. And so that's the reason why I joined this committee.
I also joined after attending NCDA in 2018. And I remember going and there was probably like 20, 25 people in the room, and people were just really kind. And there was also this question that was posed by the leaders that said like, hey, we need support. If anyone's interested in LinkedIn, we need support there. And I was thinking, I can definitely help with the LinkedIn group. Like that sounds really fun. And so that was one of the reasons why I got involved. Was I was excited to be part of that community on LinkedIn, and also the ability to share best practices, as Breanna mentioned, across the nation for supporting international students.
I know I can bounce off that because I joined several years ago. I just remember a presentation by some of the folks who started the group, and how like I just felt like they were my peeps. They were kindred spirits who also really were passionate about international students, and they had so many different opportunities between like doing the resource guide and doing LinkedIn and it was just an amazing and research that you could pick from, and the opportunity to work with people from across the country was such a cool professional development opportunity. I couldn't resist.
I have been lucky that I have been part of the social media and LinkedIn team since I started this committee. And I'm really proud of the work that we've done in gaining members and gaining awareness of this really great community and the work that this community is doing and this committee is doing. One of the things that I'm really proud of is creating some online guidelines and updating the About section on our LinkedIn page. And I had the opportunity to work with Leigh on that, and it was really inspiring to work with her.
And to add on there, in 2019, one of the projects that I worked on was collaborating with other members from ISSC to submit a proposal for the 2019 NCDA Global Career and Development Conference. And that was such an honor to be able to do a roundtable specifically on building connections on a global scale, networking interventions for international students. And that ability to collaborate with members on a roundtable, I got to meet folks on a more deeper level of getting to know folks, not only professionally in career services, but also our interests and just like a passion for higher education. And then being able to meet in person in Houston was so much fun. And so I do encourage folks who are interested in like getting plugged in and meeting other professionals that if there's an opportunity to collaborate on submitting a proposal, it's so much fun and worth it. So that's been my favorite project.
Oh, I love that. I love what you both say, just totally resonates for me. For me, the first project I worked on was the resource guide. And I did that for a couple of years, and it was a great opportunity I felt like, to contribute back to other career services folks across the country, and to work with really cool people on the committee. And then I joined the research team, but I really especially proud of, we did a statement of advocacy on behalf of international students. And we did an article for career convergence, and that was really good. And then the LinkedIn group, of course, I just really love this group. You just get a chance to meet and work with people who you wouldn't normally necessarily meet and work with. And it's just so near and dear to my heart. And the LinkedIn group and growing it is just another way to reach out to people who have that passion and that interest, who want to be part of a community of professionals. And so it's just been kind of a joy.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I'm really proud of the work that this committee has done on behalf of international students in careers, and I'm just really proud to be part of that. And I remember last minis conference last year where we learned about YouTube, and we had some trainings on like marketing and YouTube and how to like have kind of like a refresher of technology. And Jane, who is part of our committee, did that training, and I learned so much. I just like have pages and pages and pages of notes, and it was so beneficial, and have taken that information that I learned that was like such a practical piece of like what I do into my yearly work.
Yeah, and thinking about the conferences, I am sort of going to answer the question, but I wanted to share that the most impactful thing has been during the pandemic, being able to meet bi-weekly with our group, social media group, because just being able to be that support of being, there's so much change so quickly during the pandemic, and being able to have this group that would meet bi-weekly to share and check in about how you're supporting our students, how are we doing, how are our schools handling the constant pivot. So I think that has been the most impactful thing, is that even though we're not physically in the same time zone, at the same office, at the same school, that I get chills thinking about it. Just super grateful for that opportunity. I learned a lot from leaning on each other during a crisis.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like if I have to think back to, in thinking back for this past year, of course, I've learned a ton from everyone in the mini conference and the conferences. The last conference was amazing. The mini conference coming up, I know, will be amazing. And learning about people's practices and best practices is like, you just can't, it's just free. I mean, how good is that, right? We have each other, but also just our committee and meeting together bi-weekly and sharing ideas for programming and marketing and how we're getting the word out and how we're supporting our students and what some of the common challenges are, and what some of the opportunities were, and like how we did it. It was so helpful. It was just helpful to know that we were here for each other. Yeah, it was just, it's a great group to be part of. And it's just really a privilege and honor, but it's also just really enriching and fun and everything it should be. And not, it's not a ton of work. You can do it with your schedules.
And I wanted to add on to what Ellen said is, if anyone's watching this, definitely go to the mini conference. Can't wait to meet you. And you're going to learn a lot, and to be able to better support your students, especially we all like to nerd out on best practices and support each other and hear what cool things other universities are doing. So we can't wait to see you in person at that time.
Yes. Come join us. We would love to have you join in whatever project that speaks to your heart. And we are a welcoming committee, and we welcome everybody who's watching this to join us. Thank you.
Thank you.